Once again, this is Don Kissick coming to you from the sprawling metropolis that is Ottawa, Ohio. Maybe one of these days I will get tired of that joke. Then again, maybe not. Only time will tell. I wanted to shift gears with this video and take a couple minutes to examine the still ongoing Republican primary and caucus process. There was a bit of a shakeup this week when Ted Cruz came up big in Wisconsin. He kind of bit into Donald Trump's lead. Trump presently has 743 delegates to Senator Cruz's 520. Governor John Kasich still is lagging in third, actually technically fourth place with 143 delegates, even though Governor Kasich took Ohio, which was winner take all with the delegates. He still lags behind Marco Rubio, who dropped out a month ago, who stands at 171 delegates. I'm not aware of them having been redistributed, so I believe the numbers that we have at present, stand until a decision is made there. And of course, with Wisconsin results, that got a lot of the pundits, all buzzing about the fact that we are more likely to see a broker convention in Cleveland than we were just 2 weeks ago. There's always that chance. There's just under 900 delegates remaining to be grabbed by the remaining contenders for the Republican nomination. Looking at my notes here, Trump needs 480 more to get to the 1,223 threshold. Ted Cruz would have to take 703, and of course, John Kasich is still relying on Common Core math to work out in his favor. Now, although my fellow Ohio libertarians and I, we all enjoy just kind of poking fun and taking our jabs at Kasich, I have a very interesting theory that I want to float by everyone. In the event of excuse me, in the event of a broker convention, it's really not a given that Ted Cruz would come out on top. We know that if it's a broker convention, Trump really won't get it, which will leave, of course, a bad taste in the mouths of all of his ardent supporters, and that'll be some good entertainment when that plays out. But as crazy as it may sound, given that Kasich has not really had a strong primary season, with the exception of his home state, it may seem absurd that he could win the broker convention. But remember, when you think back to 2012, when the Republican National Committee really did a lot of strong arming and engaged in some rather questionable tactics in rewriting their convention rules, rewriting their nomination rules, especially doing so at the last second, and denying Representative Ron Paul the opportunity to try and engage the campaign strategy, which was to push for a broker convention, even though he clearly was lagging well behind Mitt Romney. But there were a lot of delegates, of course. I mean, there was a lot of talk about this, how there were a lot of people at the convention that did not want to have to vote for Romney if they did not have to. But, of course, the RNC made sure that there was no real choice when push came to shove. Now, push is going to come to shove in Cleveland if no one hits 1223 before that date. The RNC wants someone who is going to be establishment friendly, which means, of course, they don't like Trump. They're not really that fond of Ted Cruz because Cruz still is still drawing on the support of the Tea Party there in Texas, who got him elected initially, and are still backing him very heavily across the country. And the RNC really is not, they're not Tea Party fans, which probably, Seems perplexing to a lot of Democrats out there, but it's true. Uh, what they want, like just like they wanted with Mitt Romney 4 years ago, they want with our nominee this year. Someone they can easily market as being supposedly conservative, but in any given issue will prove to be ideologically fluid enough to make them happy. And of the three remaining candidates, that phrase describes John Kasich better than any of them. Like I said, it just may seem crazy, it may seem absurd at the sound of it, but don't put it past them to try and work all kinds of evil mojo to make that come about. And, and I want to throw in that, remember, in 2012, the RNC really beefed up their authority at the convention to do a lot of vetting and filtering of delegates before they get to go out on the floor and cast their votes. And you know a lot of that's happening at the state level too. In heaven only knows how many state apparatuses are doing this. We know that Kasich and his crew did a lot of strong arming, did a lot of rewriting of the state party's rules. That's how they got winner take all in effect, because they knew it would favor Kasich. So, at at the end of the day, a good deal of the Republican delegates who arrive in Cleveland will have been run through a double filtration process, been thoroughly vetted, and will vote the way the RNC would like to see them vote. And unless something really odd happens, that really I think favors John Kasich. And it would explain why he has still held on, even though he is lagging so far behind. He's mathematically eliminated, so to speak. But it's food for thought, if nothing else. Of course, we'll have to see how the remaining primaries and caucuses play out. But if we get that broker convention, mark my words, don't expect to see Ted Cruz come out on top. I'll let you all kick the idea around. Feel free to discuss. Like I said, this is not some grand, hard prediction, but don't be surprised, is all I'm saying. May peace, faith, and liberty be yours. This is Don Kissick.